9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
TGIF, happy Friday. This is your timeless elite, your PR princess, Stone Cold Courtney, whatever you want to call me, on this Friday edition of WWT. Do not adjust it. Little bit of a late start, but of course, throughout the whole East Coast, we're getting ready for a snowstorm. Not just East Coast, but everywhere. We're preparing for a huge, huge storm happening. And of course, excuse the tardiness, but life happens. You got to make lemonade. But we're going to give you a little brief WWT live today because we got some news happening. But before we jump into the SmackDown preview, we do want to wish a happy birthday because we have 2 birthdays on the same day in the wrestling world. Definitely want to give a shout out to Leilani Kai and Nigel McGuinness. Both of their birthdays are on today. I know you guys are familiar with Nigel in the Ring of Honor space with Bryan Danielson and doing color commentary in AEW. And he's also going to be a dad as well. So do want to give a shout out to Leilani Kai. If you're not familiar with her, she was in a popular tag team in the 80s called the Glamour Girls. And she was one of the trailblazers of women's wrestling, and happy that she is doing well. She has a Legends deal with WWE as well. And also, if you are going to be in New Jersey at 80s Wrestling Con, her, along with her tag team partner, the Glamour Girls, will be making an appearance at 80s Wrestling Con. So shout out to Tommy Fierro, ISPW 80s Wrestling Con team. Do want to give a shout out to both of them on their special days around the sun. And shout out to the chat as well, as we see Eric, our producer from the future, Dylan, Lewis Johnson in the chat. But do want to wish happy birthday to the both of them. And it really kind of pivots a lot bit because we're talking about snow weekend happening. And we do have SmackDown tonight happening in Montreal. The final SmackDown before Saturday night's main event happening tomorrow. Obviously, of course, we're going to have a sit-down interview with the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes before his big match against Jacob Fatu tomorrow. We're also going to have, courtesy of General Manager Nick Aldis, he invited the phenomenal one AJ Styles to Friday Night SmackDown tonight. Not sure what's up with the invitation, but very interesting right before his match against Gunther at the Royal Rumble. We're also going to have the WWE Tag Team titles on the line. The Wyatt Six taking on members of the MFT. Not sure in particular what members from the MFT are going for the tag belts, but we shall see throughout the program. We're also going to have Carmelo Hayes continuing his U.S. Open Challenge. Who's going to be the next person to step up to the plate to take on Mr. Mello? We shall see on that. We're also going to have a #1 contenders qualifying match for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. We have Alexa and Charlotte. We also against Lash Legend Nia Jax, and also taking on the team of Julia and Kiana James in this qualifying match. And we're also going to have Damian Priest take on Trick Williams right before the Fatal 4-Way match happening tomorrow on Saturday night's main event. And also we're going to have the women's champion, Jade Cargill, taking on Miss Chelsea Green, Canada's own Chelsea Green. All this and more happening tonight on SmackDown at the top of the hour. Of course, you can't watch SmackDown alone because it will have Honey Night SmackDown at the top of the hour. And no, she's going to give you the rundown on everything that she needs. And of course, her favorites, the Wyatt Six, will be on there. So all this and more happening tonight on SmackDown. Lots happening as we continue the road to WrestleMania with the Royal Rumble. Also, of course, we have Saturday night's main event. We'll take a quick run through of that a little bit later on, but do want to give a little brief update regarding TNA news that happened, because if you did watch TNA Impact last night, you saw a familiar face. Trey Miguel re-signed with TNA. He appeared last night and he was in a feast or fired match where he got one of the briefcases. So it's very interesting that he's making a return back onto TNA, and also very intrigued on what role he's going to be in, but very happy for him that he is coming back to TNA. It's going to be very interesting on where this is going to go, but I'm happy he got one of the briefcase. I just hope he doesn't get the usual briefcase that has the pink slip in it, because that would feel very much disaster. Also, if you did watch TNA last night, there's a very interesting thing that happened on TNA. So you obviously know JDC had his final match at Genesis over the weekend against Eddie Edwards, and we thought that Bear Bronson was going to be the newest member of the system, but a lot shifted in a bit, and they turned on not only JDC but just turned on Moose as well. And we saw Cedric Alexander coming in, thought he was gonna make the save, but it looks like Bear Bronson and Cedric Alexander are going to be joining the system. And this is a pretty interesting shift, with the fact I'm very intrigued on how this is going to happen. I'm not sure. And also, I'm looking in the chat as well, because everybody's talking about the Feast or Fired match. Dylan saying Steve Macklin getting the pink slip. Same thing with Boza. And we shall see. And I know people are kind of really talking about what's been happening with Trey McGinnis, because we did talk about this on Wednesday, because this was a Warner Brothers decision. It wasn't a Tony Khan or AEW decision. It was a Warner Brothers decision. But going back to here, it's very interesting for Cedric, because originally we thought somewhere down the line, obviously, he's going to get a shot for the X Division title against Leon Slater. But it's very interesting, especially working with veterans, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards. I'm going to be very interesting how this is going to develop with this new version of the system. I have been watching Bear Bronson for a while, not just in the AEW Ring of Honor space, but a little fact in there. He trained under Brian Myers, who, by the way, Brian Myers owns Create a Pro Wrestling. So that was also very interesting too. So if you're not familiar with Create a Pro Wrestling, it's been blowing up in the independent scene and had many stars coming out of there from the gate, such as Bear Bronson, Gabby Forza, who's making her mark in the independent scene, Chris Statlander, MJF, of course, Bryce Donovan, Max Caster, so many other people. And this is a really good opportunity for Bear Bronson to learn, especially he gets to work alongside the man that trained him at Creative Pro. So it's going to be very interesting, and the shift. And yes, the Alyssa Edwards, that's going to be very interesting, but very intrigued how this is going to go with the system and that. But we did talk about TNA. They're like the little engine and train that could, but I think they're going to be working some stops in as well. And since I'm talking about TNA, I mean, I got to have somebody that is familiar with TNA. I should pretty much call him Mr. TNA at this point. And happy to have Mr. K. McCoy in the building.
Woo! Courtney Rice, apologies for the delay. I was doing some stuff with visas and social media PR. It's been very busy here at TNA.
It's been very, very busy. So we did talk about Trey McGinnis. He resigned with TNA last night. Of course, he has one of the briefcases from the Feast or Fired match. And we did talk about briefly what happened with the system. So just wanted to get your quick thoughts from last night's episode. How did TNA do? And well,
bravo TNA, total nonstop action. Got a mulligan last night. It was a mulligan episode of Impact. I love it, coming out of the momentum of TNA Genesis. There were a lot of surprises, a lot of returns, a lot of exits, a lot of dismissals. We saw Ash by Elegance is unretired. She's elegant once again. So whatever situation she had, she was able to break up and make up because she's elegant. And now she's gonna be back in the ring. And Lei Yingling, she's coming after TNA Knockouts World Championship. It's happening. And really, we need some juice back in that. So Ash by Elegance never lost her TNA Knockouts Women's World Championship. Okay. She never lost it. She had to watch an NXT superstar in Kaylani Jordan, her son, her prodigy from back in NXT days, win it, and just kind of watch it lull around. So I'm excited. It looks like the Elegance brand is going to get a huge push. We've seen the introduction of Mr. Elegance. As you can see, I was the runner-up. Congrats to you, Mr. Elegance. Okay, it was just I had visa issues, so I couldn't get my proper training straight. That's the only reason why Mr. Elegance won. But we see also M by Elegance and Heather by Elegance are the Knockouts tag champs. So the Elegance brand will be doing very good this year, doing bad things to people. But my biggest shocker was the system. There was a system reset. We saw JDC have his last match at Genesis, so we knew he was on the way out, and we got the replacement in Bear Bronson, who's been showing out lately. But the turn was Eddie Edwards, the second, the third, all the Eddies hit JDC with a low blow, Courtney Rice. Fandango ain't doing no dancing no time soon after that. I don't think. And Moose is confused. Alicia Edwards is confused. Cedric Alexander runs down for the save, but blow! He pops Moose in the back with a chair, and he is now part of the system. Cedric Alexander, he's been a part of a lot of groups. He knows how to hurt people. So we have a system reset. But you know what? I like that. You know, it's an equal opportunity system. Black wrestler replaces black wrestler. Not mad at it. We need to employ that in the workplace more often, you know, diversity. But overall, great show. I was happy to see Trey Miguel return. Trey Miguel is back at TNA. They made note of it, however, that he signed the new contract on commentary, to which I raised the eyebrow immediately because I thought, well, if he does get a feast or fired briefcase, which he did, what will be in Trey Miguel's briefcase? Because boy, oh boy, I will cry Big Show Paul White tears if Trey Miguel is fired next week on TV.
God, that would be. Psh.
You know what would be even more? If Trey Miguel opens up his briefcase and it's just like a long printout of his Facebook comments from 6 years ago. And no, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God, that would be really crazy. I hope not. But also, it's going to be very interesting, especially with the fact, too, because I mentioned this earlier. Cedric Alexander does have an opportunity to go against Leon Slater for a future X Division. So that's going to be interesting with the shift, with the X Division. Also, we did see the Righteous. They still want those tag team titles. So they're gunning for the Hardys, but we'll see a lot of that with TNA. And obviously, of course, since we are talking about TNA, and I'm so happy you're here for this next topic because this happened on Wednesday. If you're familiar with Westside Gunn with Fourth Rope, he tweeted out saying he has interest in purchasing TNA. I mean, if you're not familiar with him, he's a huge wrestling fan. He's been making his marks. He did probably in TNA. He's made his mark in AEW. He's also performed the theme song to the Hurt Syndicate as well. But he, as I mentioned, he has Fourth Rope as well. And also with the fact too, the Hardys are the reigning Fourth Rope Tag Team Champions. So, hey, a little fact in there. But I just wanted to get, Kane, I just want to get your thoughts on this because do you think it is possible that Westside Gunn could own Total Nonstop Action?
First and foremost, Courtney Rice, do you want to hear my impersonation of Westside Gunn buying Total Nonstop Action?
Sure.
All right, here's my impersonation of Westside Gunn buying TNA. Hey, yo! You ever buy Raw from TNA? Hold on. You ever buy Raw in TNA? Because you got to repeat it.
Yep.
Hey, yo. Boom, 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 boom. This will be great. Westside Gunn will not be buying TNA, obviously. But, well, you know what? It's professional wrestling. Never say never. I'm sure he'll be a better owner than Billy Corgan. the last musician to try to buy TNA, and now Billy Corgan's doing what he's doing with NWA. But speaking of with attitude, West Side Gun is probably next to Smoke DZA the biggest like rap wrestling guy out there. Obviously, he's doing very well with Fourth Rope. Fourth Rope has worked with TNA. We've seen Josh Bishop. We've seen Enzo. A couple of wrestlers make that cross between Fourth Rope and TNA. TNA was actually the production company for the Fourth Rope shows during WrestleMania weekend in Vegas. So they have a very big working relationship. I would like to see West Side Gun somehow dip his toe into it or have a working relationship between Fourth Rope and TNA. We see that's the thing with companies now. Companies are working side by side. We see it with ROH and with Athena's company and with CMLL and WWE and TNA as well. But that's my only kind of hiccup because last we heard with West Side and WWE, he was getting kicked out of his hometown in Buffalo when Raw was there. So you ever been kicked out of Monday Night Raw on a Monday? But yeah, it's one of those things where I would like to see West Side Gun more involved in wrestling. He obviously knows what he is doing. His champions are great with you see he got eye talent with Zilla Fatu and with Tiara James and with Rio, who's currently the Fourth Rope Women's Champion, strong style, British style. So I would love to see some type of relationship, maybe some type of Fourth Rope invasion.
That would be pretty interesting. I think for me, when it comes to West Side Gun, I do love it when people get into space. Like if you live, breathe, you understand not just the wrestling side, but understand the logistics and the business side and the creative side, then you could just go for it. Because I'm pretty sure you've seen this. I'm starting to see this as well, because a lot of times people think of the wrestling, they always look at the sports style. They never look at like the business side and creative side, because there's a lot of planning that goes into it. And also we've seen it with West Side Gun, with Fourth Rope, like taking hip hop and wrestling and just promoting it like crazy. I did not go, but Honey actually went to a Fourth Rope show in New Jersey during Halloween, by the way, because I heard a lot of good things about it. And it's really a good opportunity that he's really bringing that into the fold and seeing so much. And who knows, he may come, they may have a show again in Vegas this year. So we don't know what's going to happen there. They may have shows left and right, but we did see it. And Dylan, going back to your point, Enzo was on Slammiversary last year. It was him, Zilla Fatu, and the rest of
Josh Bishop. And Enzo did that very, 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 very long promo before the match started. And he did a promo on Jake Something, and you can see the wheels going through Jake Something's mind, like, I gotta get out of here. That was Jake Something's 13 reason why he became Jake Doyle in AEW right now. He was like, yeah, dog, I'm gonna just wrap it on up here.
Yeah, so you know, West Side Gun. I mean, hey, I mean, if you could help out with Fourth Rope, and also as I mentioned, you got the Hardys, who by the way are also on TNA as well. So I'm just saying. Yeah,
there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Intuition, cohesiveness. Thank you. That's 13-point Scrabble word to Courtney. So I'm excited to see. Plus, I mean, if TNA is really trying to make a huge impact in the culture, then what better way to do it with West Side Gun? I mean, with him and Benny the Butcher and Conway the Machine and Griselda Records, what they've done for hip hop and that crossover will really help the culture. And we see the hip hop with AJ Francis on there. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of potential with TNA there that can really embrace the hip hop community, because wrestling's for who?
Yeah.
Whatever. That thing that MJF writes in his Instagram comments from years ago that still hasn't been checked out by WB yet. That's who wrestling's for.
Yeah, what he said. Pretty much. But like I said, it would be nice to see West Side Gun. Also, he gave us a rap battle, which I did not think would not happen on Fourth Rope between I'll say this later, between AJ Francis and Max Caster. Did not think it was gonna happen, but hey, he made it happen. So we shall see on that. And shifting gears, because we did talk about Powerhouse Hobbs Fightful reported this. It is official. He's officially signed with WWE. We did mention his contract with AEW expired last week, and now, courtesy of Fightful and Sean Ross Sapp reported it, he's officially signed with WWE, and it's only a matter of time on when he's going to make his debut.
Well, Powerhouse Hobbs has a new house with a new name. Royce Keys, ladies and gentlemen, is rumored to be the new name of Powerhouse Hobbs. And before you poo-poo and get all upset about it, it does have some sentimental value, as the son of Powerhouse Hobbs is named Royce. So it has a little bit of Kevin Steen becomes Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens' son is named Owen after the late great Owen Hart. So there's some sentimental value there. If you got to change your name, at least make it mean something. It makes me wonder if even under the TKO ownership, does WWE still have the policy of we own your name? So maybe it's one of those things where you see with the former Mariah May, now Blake Monroe, the former Ricky Starks, now Ricky Saints, and now with Powerhouse Hobbs becoming Royce Keys, if they were like, oh, okay, cool. Well, in case we're out of here in the future or anything happens, we're going to have our name, and then we're going to have our Stanford territory name. So overall, I'm very happy for Powerhouse Hobbs, a guy who's been in this business for a very, very long time. I mean, he's a 15-year plus vet. So he was able to get the opportunity on AEW, work with whatever's given to him. I always say that the new Royce Keys is a slot anywhere wrestler. You put him anywhere on the card and he'll cut through. That's why we always saw us in the wrestling community wanting more for Hobbs, wanting him to be AEW World Heavyweight Champion one day. So that time is not now. However, Powerhouse Hobbs, he got some new keys to a new house. Royce Keys, congratulations, Hobbs. Can't wait to see you help Ricky Starks win the NXT championship. Team Taz, come back.
Oh my God. Well, I'm happy for Powerhouse Hobbs. I know people call me the timeless elitist of all elitists when it comes to AEW, but I'm just happy for Hobbs. And people need to realize that it is okay. Like, not many people in AEW are upset that he's left. And plus, it can be a stepping stone within WWE. We saw how the way Blake Monroe, formerly known as Mariah May, turned out, because it made her a star. It made her into one of the hottest storylines in AEW, and it really got a lot of attraction. Obviously, of course, she wrestled in like Stardom with Mina Chiricana, but she was vicious. But I think AEW helped with that national spotlight. And also, if people understand, that was her dream to be in WWE. Like, that was her dream, and that's what she wanted to do. And also with Powerhouse Hobbs, he did everything he could. Obviously, of course, injury kind of hit him in the butt, but I was very happy that he did. And people wanted to say like, oh, well, he had 7 seconds of his worst match against Orange Cassidy, but after that 7-second match, he was signed with AEW. And Jon Moxley was the one that brought him in, because Jon Moxley eyes some talent that maybe people don't see. So I'm very happy to see where he goes. I'm very curious on where it's going to land. I mean, I know we did talk about AAA a couple weeks ago, because we did see Vikingo is a new #1 contender, because apparently he's paired off with Omos. Not sure if that's going to happen, but Powerhouse Hobbs, help my guy Ricky out on NXT. Just help him out for a quick second. Please.
Yeah.
I mean, some help.
Yeah, he gonna need a little assistance, and I think it's gonna happen. I think it's a perfect. The story is already there. It's already written before they can even do pen to paper. I'm sorry, folks, but sometimes you got to dip back in the well, and that HBK Diesel, Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, big bodyguard backs up the swaggadocious homie, and then those two feud and they both come up together. It's 2 out of 2. HBK elevated Diesel and they both became Hall of Famers. Carmelo Hayes elevated Trick Williams, and we see how ham Trick is going right now. I can't wait for Trick and Carmelo to battle for the United States Championship soon enough, and then team up to be 2 dudes with attitude, or I guess there'll be 2 MJF Instagram comments a couple years ago, NWA with attitude, whatever. But like, now we get to see this with Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks, and they could just run NXT. NXT's had a lot of changes, a lot of turnover in the men's roster. So I'm excited for like the possibilities, you know, and the doors that will open for Royce Keys. Why? Because Keys opens doors. Starks pose.
The revolution is going to be televised. And
Keys
need
open
the keys
doors.
to do
Keys,
it.
keys
But
open doors. Keys open doors.
keys open doors.
Ooh, hey,
Well, we're shifting gears from Powerhouse and Ricky to a woman that's just been taking the keys and just owning it, Miss Bailey. Bailey had a very interesting thought, and she said that she wishes WWE could find a happy and healthy balance for live events. We know because from last year, WWE had to take a little bit of a setback when it came to live events, reducing the number of in-ring reps for talent, where we were used to seeing them run 100 plus live events a year. But speaking to the Toronto Sun, Bailey was asked if cutting down on live events has helped preserve her body. And she goes on to say, for someone like me, yes, because I've been here and my first 8 years on the roster, I was on every single live event, thankfully. It was tough, and around year 5 or 6, Charlotte and I would be like, they need to put someone else on here so they can help and learn how to do it. I understood they needed the star power and experienced women and sell tickets, so we were on everything. It was really brutal, but now when I look back at it, I miss them. I feel it helps with longevity and keep up and stay relevant is because we had the experience. It's different than TV. TV is stressful. You have to hit these times and camera angles. Sometimes you don't always have a match on TV. It could be a promo or backstage, but if you get your reps in on the live events, it makes a world of difference. People like Roxanne Perez, Lyra Valkyria, Maxine Dupree, when Zoe Starks was coming, we talk about that. They just need those reps on live events that really transfer and make you feel more confident on TV. I wish we could find a happy and healthy balance to get some back, maybe a little more this year. For someone like me, it does help my body, but I feel like for the ones that really want to be on those shows.
Bailey is 1,010% correct. Like this Bailey is, Hugger Bailey's correct on this, split personality Bailey, all the Baileys are correct with this. These reps are needed. You need these reps in anything in life. You just can't stop and go. Okay, when you're doing it live, that's when you know that you're nailing it down to perfection, that it becomes easy. Look at my hands. I've been going to the gymnasium steady. My hands are calloused. They're calloused. But it's nothing now because I'm doing it and doing it and doing it well. Shouts to LL Cool J. But that's what's needed for this. And we see it sometimes when watching NXT or watching Evolve. It's a lot to say, okay, here you go doing it for the first time ever on television. That's going to be here forever. Okay. Being able to do live events gives wrestlers a chance to work on their character, to see what works, what doesn't work. You do test runs. You know who wishes that this was like this right now? 1993-94 Lex Luger, okay?
Oh
Remember, they did a test run with Lex Luger as WWF champion, and the crowd was kind of lukewarm to it. Probably confused, wondering why Lex Luger had a WWF championship, but that's the reason why he never got it, because Vince was like, "Oop, this test market didn't work." I'm sure Lex is like, "Do it now, please. Just put the title on me on television for the first time." But overall, this is very needed, and I hope WWE can find a way to go back to it. Because another thing that Bailey didn't mention, and I know she didn't do it on purpose, but our pockets are screaming for it, it's going to make the Raw and SmackDowns and PLEs cheaper. The reason why the shows are so more expensive is because there are less house shows to make up for it. So they have to charge a lot for Raw and SmackDown and for the PLEs. You start doing these house shows, it can balance out, hopefully, if TKO is not too greedy. So it will help the wrestlers, it will help the consumers, it will help professional wrestling's ecosystem as a whole. And you even saw this with John Cena, Courtney. Remember, during John Cena's tour, he was like, "Yo, I'm ready for 200 plus dates." And TKO was like, "Hey, bro, we won't do that no more, dog. You got about 80 something, and we good with that." So even Cena's mind frame, most of these wrestlers' mind frames are, okay, this is it. We're going to go, be on the road, do these live shows, do X, Y, Z, because you want to be able to entertain your audience. And wrestling traditionally has been the one form of entertainment that's available for everybody because of the price point. And that's one thing that Voldemort McManus was good at making sure that it was a family show. So hopefully they can see Bailey's comments and TKO will say, okay, yeah, she got a point. Let's get back to that. I love live shows.
And it's kind of crazy. The recent holiday tour they had, the Baltimore one was one of the most highest selling and grossing shows they had. Because everybody that I knew that went to a live show for WWE, they loved it. They loved it. They enjoyed it. And it does give an opportunity because unfortunately, we do have some people that are on the shelves as of right now due to the limited amount of house shows. But when I see people post on socials on doing house shows, like Roxanne Perez has been doing house shows, Lyra Valkyria has been doing house shows, Maxine Dupree's been doing some for a little bit. But it's really nice to have that, to get those reps in. And also that's what made it really great. I think I did go to a live show too when they came to Wildwood. This was like 2016, 2017 when they did live shows, and it was really nice and it was fun. It was enjoyable, everything for the whole family, and it just didn't feel like too expensive to do. And I think this is something also falling into AEW because they're going to be doing their first live house show in Australia next month. So that's going to be very interesting as well.
Oi. That's what they say in Australia, right? Oi.
Yes. Oi. Dylan can do that because he's from Australia.
Yeah, off the chat.
He's upset because I had the worst Aussie accent last year when they were in Grand Slam.
I play some footy.
He did not like my accent as well. But you know what people will like? Support the Women's Wrestling Archive. Everything that you need to know about women's wrestling, that's what people will support as well.
Women's wrestling didn't just show up yesterday in glitter boots. We've been here the entire time, body slamming through history.
The Women's Wrestling Archive launches January 1st, 2026, and it's going to pave the way for all women's wrestling.
Because if we don't document it, a man might say he did it first.
This has been a passion project for a very long time. Head over to the womenswrestlingarchive.com to donate 1, 5, or whatever you can. It all goes a long way.
Let's give these women the spotlight that they've always deserved.
Her story belongs in history. Help us preserve it today. Join us at womenswrestlingarchive.com. Support the archive. Support women's wrestling. Donate today.
Definitely support the Women's Wrestling Archive. Dylan, that's not fair. I was trying to learn how to say things in Aussie accent because I would like to come to Australia one day, and I do like the accent and would love to learn anything about Australia.
Yeah, I pretty much just know Vegemite, Men Down Under. Do you come from a line down under? Oh no, Men at Work. That was the group. I used to work at like this adult hits variety station, and that thing stayed on rotation. And Who Could It Be Now? That was their 2 songs. What else about Australia? The Australia Open is happening right now.
Mm-hmm. Kylie Minogue.
Kylie Minogue. Yeah. She was hitting the Locomotion. Yes. Who else? What was I about to say? The Australian Open. Were the Bushwhackers from Australia or were they from New Zealand? They're gonna get those.
I don't know. I don't know if they were, but
yeah. But shouts to Aussie and shouts to Cal and Jackie.
Bucket list to visit Australia. Yes.
Yeah, I need to do Sydney, New South Wales. Go to the Opera House or something, and the Gold Coast as well.
Next month. Yes.
Anyway,
and also next month, Dylan can visit AEW because they'll be in Australia next month during Valentine's Day.
That's right. AEW's in Australia. Ooh, let me start doing my Googles real quick. I might pull up to Australia. I've been needing a reason to go to Australia. So,
yes, Bushwhackers are from New Zealand. Got friends with Tony Storm.
That makes sense. Yeah, because Tony Storm's from New Zealand, right?
He's from New Zealand. Jay White's from New Zealand.
Yeah, but who's from Australia? One of the is
Kyle
Harley
Fletcher's
Cameron from
Harley's
Australia?
from Australia. Kyle Fletcher's from Australia.
Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, Kyle Fletcher's from Australia. Yeah, Australia. Look at Australia pro wrestling. I mean, Rhea Ripley. Duh. How could we forget
Buddy
Rhea
Matthews?
Ripley? Buddy Matthews. Yeah. Okay, Australia. We're doing it big. Dylan says the flight is no joke. I've done it 15 times. From where? Because I'll be coming from LA to Sydney. So let me just do my Googles real quick, and then we'll talk about Swerve Strickland and Kevin Knight. But how long is it from Los Angeles to to Sydney? Let's see. They say it's 15 American hours.
I believe
15
it.
hours.
I believe
All
it.
right. Well, if it's a 15-hour flight, that means I can watch one episode of AEW pay-per-view or something. That's I could just watch one AEW pay-per-view and be good.
There it is. But since we were talking about AEW, I do want to highlight Swerve Strickland and Kevin Knight in the main event. I do want to brief on this because it's funny we were talking about Wednesday regarding the women not main eventing. This is actually really spectacular because in the rarity throughout the 7 years of AEW, we've had one of the rarities, 2 men of color main eventing on AEW Dynamite, which is insane because we had 2 women of color, Mercedes Moné and Willow Nightingale, main event Dynamite. Obviously, of course, we did have the first 2 people of color tag teams in there when Swerve was pairing with Keith Lee and faced off against Max Caster, Anthony Bowens on the Acclaim. So that's also very interesting to do. And Kane, I just wanted to get your quick thoughts saying if you did watch this match, what did you think of this match? And also just getting your little thoughts seeing two of these guys from AEW and just putting on an incredible match and ending Dynamite from Orlando.
Swerve Strickland, Kevin Knight, one word. Hibachi, because them boys were cooking up something nice. I love the match. I love to see Kevin Knight shine. We forget how dope Kevin Knight is. Also for Swerve Strickland, I believe that marked 4 years, in AEW. So he got his shine on. I love the couple of the DDT spots. I love at the end of the match when Swerve picked up Kevin Knight, gave him a little chin touch, head raise, like, hey, brother, thank you for that. I appreciate that. And let's get it how we live it. I will see you again.
Yeah.
Love the match.
It was a really good match. I give kudos to the both of them, and also with the fact too, because we were talking about women, and also we've been talking about people of color, especially with wrestling, trying to get them on the main events. Main event status and stars. But I do think there is a lot of work that needs to be done on wrestling. But I'm really happy they are getting their opportunity on the main stage, trying to change the gameplay a bit. But I really want to see more of that. I definitely want to see a lot more presence, and also not just in major promotions, wrestling everywhere. I want to see everybody get access to opportunities as well. And it really made me think, especially doing my watch along on Wednesday, seeing these 2 guys main event, I was just very giddy about it. And it just made me really excited to show the spotlight on 2 guys. And you have one guy with Swerve, who's one of the top guys in AEW, and you're focusing on the future of AEW, which the future is now with Mr. Kevin Knight, who is really making an impact. 1/3 of the AEW Trios belt. He's just getting signature wins from Kazuchika Okada, Darby Allin, facing off with some of the top guys in AEW. I'll never forget it. One of the matches he had, his first pay-per-view match against Will Ospreay at Dynasty last year. So he's going to be making his marks. I would love to see him in the Continental Classic again later this year. Hopefully we do get to see him in the Owen Hart Cup men's tournament hopefully in the spring, but they're just doing amazing work. I definitely want to see a lot of that because I just love it when our people shine. It just makes me happy.
Yeah, it was at the end, I was just screaming, excellence, 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 I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all.
And
I'm bliggity black, y'all. That's how I felt watching it.
And right before Black History Month too. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know, right? Like that was a nice little gift that we got ahead of time, man. So it was dope to see, and I think Kevin Knight was I feel like it was more of a test for Kevin Knight. It was a sink or swim mentality. Those of us who've seen Kevin Knight in TNA with Kushida, and we've seen him in New Japan. We've been new about Kevin Knight, dog. You know what I'm saying? This is one of those, all right, everybody else needs to catch up. And honestly, I think Swerve Strickland got caught up last night about the phenomenon known as Kevin Knight. So I definitely see Kevin Knight as a huge player in AEW for 2026.
And actually, I will say the first time he was on television, that was my first taste of Kevin Knight. But I loved it when they talked background on him when he was on New Japan. I was like, okay, let me see some of his archive footage. And I was like, okay, this guy you need to watch for.
Yeah, man, like Kevin Knight been getting it, man. So everything he's done with the Intergalactic Jet Setters, he was one half of the New Japan Tag Champions, Junior Heavyweight Tag Champions with Kushida. I mean, with Kushida, bro, like. This guy is standing side by side with Kushida. This ain't no slouch here. You know what I mean? So everything he's done up to this point to AEW has been phenomenal. So I'm happy. I think yesterday was a huge breakout for him in AEW because we've kind of seen him sparingly in AEW when he first came, and then you saw him mostly tagging with Speedball Mike Bailey as Jet Speed. But go back and watch some of his New Japan stuff and some of his TNA stuff. It's really good.
Shout out to Kevin Knight. The Jetster.
Yeah, man. The Jet Kevin Knight, man. Too fly out here. Let's go, baby.
And him and Leon Slater do not look alike. They don't.
Well, they don't look alike because Leon Slater and Kevin Knight are the same person. So when they look in the mirror, they just see, I'm happy he was able to resolve those visa issues and wrestle Swerve Strickland.
This is going to be an ongoing conversation, but we got Saturday night's main event happening tomorrow night. You guys, technically, we have a snowstorm happening this weekend. So if you're going to be inside, why not watch some good old-fashioned wrestling in Montreal for Saturday night's main event? We got bold predictions happening. Obviously, of course, we have the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky taking on the Judgment Day's Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. Okay,
I'm excited for this. I'm a little. I need for Liv and Rhea to separate from each other. They're in like this Dominic Mysterio vortex still. That I'm just kind of like. Do they even know what they're fighting for at this point? Like they still beefed out, but it's like not because of Dom, but it was in front of Dom. Like I don't know what we got Eskimo brothers. I don't know if they're Eskimo sisters. Is a term for them? But anyway, so they still kind of beefed out about that kind of sort of. So yeah. And then you got Io Sky, who's just I know what they're doing with the women's tag division. They're trying to spotlight it, but Io, and Liv should all be focused on the Royal Rumble. Will that happen post Saturday night's main event? Maybe we'll see the fallout from there, but this just seems like no, we could be using the Secret Harvest for this, or we could be using there's B-Fab and Meechin if they hadn't got injured, but maybe they don't get injured if they're not even involved with Jade Cargill in the first place, and they're in the tag team division. So or this could have been Nia Jax and Lash Legend here. So Rhea, Io, and Liv should be somewhere hunting for the Women's World Championship, and Roxanne Perez should be hunting for the Women's Intercontinental or Women's United States. But instead, they're here. So it's happening. It's going to be a good match, but we've seen it before. We've seen this in some type of shape, form, or fashion between Rhea and Judgment Day, and Io and Liv, and Io and Roxanne. So, it's going to be a dope match because all four of these women are very talented, but, it's just going to be here. And I think Rio and Io will retain.
Yes, I kind of do agree with that. I am definitely picking Rhea Ripley and Io Sky to retain. I mean, all 4 of these ladies can wrestle. It's going to be a really good match with all 4 of these ladies. But of course, I know Liv wants tag team gold because her buddy Raquel Rodriguez is fighting for gold against Stephanie Vaquer. She's fighting for her, and it's going to be very interesting because I was thinking about this too, and I was watching kayfabe yesterday, and I think Roxanne may be the first to backstab Liv Morgan because people think Liv Morgan is going to be the one to do it. I think Roxanne may be the one to do it.
You see what you sow. You sow them seeds, and this is what happens. That's going to be interesting. I like that, actually.
It just makes a little sense, and also with the fact too, Dom is hurt, so we don't know when he's going to come back.
Yeah, our triple AEW mega world champion. Just look at the graphic; is there. Dominic Mysterio is going hungry with no chicken nuggies. But will we see his return tomorrow? Will he be at full strength tomorrow? So far, we've only seen vignettes and promos from Dom, so you also have to incorporate that scenario as well. But you know, Roxanne and Liv, they ain't friends. You know, Roxanne was Liv's replacement with Raquel for the women's tag championships when also, Liv got injured.
Yeah, and also if you remember, when Finn brought in Roxanne, you saw how the first interaction went, and Liv did not take a liking to Roxanne.
Roxanne. Liv was like, you know, I don't. It's too spicy here. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's one of those things where a Chrysler 300 looks like a Bentley until a Bentley pulls up. You know what I mean? It looks like a Rolls Royce until the Rolls Royce pull up. And Roxanne Perez, you know, she can't use that name now that Royce Keys is here, but, you know, it would have been apropos previously before Powerhouse Hobbs got signed as the new Royce Keys. But yes, I think Rhea and Io retain here because they just won the titles. So.
And also with the fact too, it's really going to be interesting because after they win, we're going to see a lot of development within the women's tag team divisions as well. After what happens tonight on SmackDown, we also have this fatal 4-way match. The winner of this match gets to face off against Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble. Will it be Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, Damian Priest, or Mr. Trick Williams?
Man, blackness for me says Trick Williams. Booking says something differently. I feel like, all right. So Drew McIntyre unexpectedly wins, right? He beats Cody in the 3 stages of hell to become WWE champion. Last we saw Randy Orton, he was eyeing that title, but it was on Cody Rhodes' shoulder. That ain't happening no more. Cody's going to have his own busy schedule with Jacob Fatu, and we'll get into that later. Damian Priest is fresh from throwing Aleister Black in the back of an ambulance. He's kind of going into it a little bit cold. Trick Williams, new guy to the roster, just going to show up and show out. However, Mick Foley Jr., Canadian Mick Foley, Sami Zayn. These next 2 weeks are basically Sami Zayn central. He is from Montreal. There we go. And he is Muslim, which is going to be Saudi Arabia the following week for the Royal Rumble. So there's a part of me that wants Sami because of our own egos. We have Sami Zayn as our Royal Rumble winner. This throws a wrench into it because if Sami wins this match and he faces Drew McIntyre, will he lose against Drew McIntyre just to enter the Royal Rumble and win it? Will they like empty the clip like that for Sami Zayn in 2026? If this was 2023, when Sami was white hot, 2022, 2023 involved as Sami Uso with the bloodline, then yeah. But how long can Sami Zayn, who's been a WrestleMania main eventer, multiple main event guy, be an underdog? So that's kind of the booking that I want to figure out. I think Sami Zayn will win this, but from here on out, what's going to happen? He's going to do it for Adrian. Do it for Adrian, Canadian Mick Foley.
It's kind of crazy. I picked him to win the Royal Rumble match, Sami
Yeah.
Zayn. I picked him to win. And, you know, the Fatal 4-Way match is going to be very interesting. I mean, I'm happy Trick Williams is getting his opportunity to shine, especially since he's on the SmackDown brand and facing off against 3 of the top guys on the blue brand as well. I am going to pick Sami Zayn. I just think there's a lot more story to tell. And I'm looking at this from like booking wise, storyline wise, strategic wise, how this is going to play out. Because obviously, Fightful put out a report today that Sami may be involved in WrestleMania. Not sure where exactly he's going to be, but he's going to be heavily involved in WrestleMania this year. If it's not in Vegas, next year we know it's going to be in Saudi. So it's going to be very interesting how this is going to play out. But I'm definitely picking Sami Zayn. I mean, come on, the man, he's from Canada. And also, go do what your daddy did when he won the WWE title. Just go do what he did. Copy his playbook the same way he did.
Yo, Adrian, Triple H and Stone Cold is gonna come out to help him. Stone Cold is gonna hit Drew McIntyre with a chair, and DX will come out. Johnny Gargano will help him just celebrate. Yeah, but yeah, I think Sami goes over tomorrow, and I mean on Saturday, and yeah, because tomorrow is Saturday. So yeah, I see Sami doing it. Let's go.
Yes, one of Canada's favorite sons, and we have this match right here: Cody Rhodes taking on the returning Jacob Fatu.
I need Cody Rhodes' descent into madness to continue. Okay. He's been this nice guy. Wait, what do you talk about? Here's what I want to talk about, Cody. I want to talk about you losing tomorrow night. Jacob Fatu just came back. He got a new face, whatever dental surgery he had going on, and the Samoan werewolf is hungry for some fresh American blood. And I think he's going to get it from Cody Rhodes tomorrow night. Yaramin.
All gas, no breaks, and plus he just returned. You can't expect Jacob Fatu to lose, especially since he just made his return. Of course, he really wants Drew McIntyre, but he has to face off against Mr. Cody Rhodes. So, and it's going to be very interesting on Cody going through this spiral of having this some type of losing streak. We know he's going to be in the Royal Rumble match, but it's going to be very interesting how this is going to play out creatively, strategically, booking wise on how this is going to play. But I'm picking Jacob Fatu to win. And also be on the lookout because Mr. Drew McIntyre may be lurking somewhere.
Oh yeah, that's right. Drew don't got a match tomorrow. Like as of this is only these 4 matches. But I'm sure we'll have a lot of commercials and in-ring promos and something for Slim Jim or something. I don't know, something has to be there. But yeah, Drew McIntyre is involved in this love triangle right here. So wait, so there's no championships defended tomorrow?
I mean, except the women's tag team titles.
Yeah, like no singles.
That's it. I mean, we'll find out. We'll find out tonight on SmackDown if they add in one more match.
Yeah, more. Because right now, Saturday's night main event was 4 matches in Montreal. What are they doing? Nostalgia act? Because this looks like a Montreal screw job. You pay all the money for 4 matches, and you ain't even got a championship match on there. Somebody get Bret Hart.
But I was like, I had to.
Somebody get Bret Hart on the line for this.
I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, let's add another match.
Well, hopefully we find out on SmackDown tonight. Hopefully we do get another match, but that's our bold predictions ahead of Saturday night's main event. Because like I said, there is a snowstorm happening. So if you're going to be stuck at home, feel free to watch some good old-fashioned wrestling on a Saturday night.
Yes, can't wait. Oh yeah, by the way, there's also AEW Collision too. That's happening.
Yes, please no spoilers because that episode was specifically taped on Wednesday because they canceled the one for Texas. So they taped it on Wednesday in Orlando. And I'm so happy that everybody gets to be at home with their families this weekend because of the snowstorm. So kudos to Mr. Bossman, Tony Khan, for doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to go to the beach here in LA this weekend. So enjoy the precipitation, suckers.
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to be joining snow. Me and Honey are joining snow. So
yeah, salt them driveways.
But that's okay. We're used to snow. But that wraps it for our Friday edition of WWT Live because we got SmackDown happening tonight. It's 3 hours tonight. Final SmackDown before Saturday night's main event. So yeah, Kane, where can the people find you?
Yeah. Kane McCoy. I'm on Threads. I'm on Instagram. You'll see my profile on Twitter, but I can't log into it because I've said some things about Elon. So I worked myself into a shoot, brother. But follow me at Kane McCoy, CAINMCCOY. Happy to talk wrestling, hip hop, everything, man. We just out here trying to live, enjoy ourselves.
Yes, but well, people can always find me chirping sporadically on WWT Live. Wednesdays, you know where to find me because it is for the timeless elitist of all elitists on Wednesdays for AEW Dynamite because we're continuing our little road trip to Los Angeles for Revolution because we got a few pit stops on the way, but we do have some good old-fashioned fun in wrestling, so you get to spend 2 hours with me. And Boza, yes, I am going to do a picture-in-picture of Leon Slater and Kevin Knight because we need to end this. Hopefully by next week, I can do it either on WWT or my watch along. So please make sure to follow. Also follow me on my socials at CourtneyNJ11 for anything that you need to know when it comes to wrestling, PR, pageants, music, whatever you want to talk about. You can also hang out with me. Make sure to check out ISPW Wrestling. February 13th, I will be on the call for Girl Power Pro Wrestling 3. That will be happening, and super excited to be back in there. If you're in New Jersey, you love independent wrestling, feel free to come on out as well. And definitely want to shout out to everybody in the chat, our producer from the future, Jillian, Boza, Jordan from Canada, cousin Ron, all of you for joining with us. Also got to give a shout out to the rest of our team on WWT Live because I know we've all been busy since we've been back for the new year, but we're trying to keep the keys moving, making sure we give you guys everything and also support everything for women's wrestling. So, Dylan, I'm going to ignore that comment.
Thank you, Dylan. Yes, Dylan says Courtney thought Tony Storm was Aussie, and look how that turned out. Also, I too have not seen Kevin Knight and Leon Slater in the same room. Thank you, bruv.
Well, that's gonna be a discussion for another day because he knows how much I love Tony Storm. But we want to get you out of here. But thank you for supporting Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. We'll see you guys on Monday and be safe during this weekend's snowstorm.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.